Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And a few days ago, I started a series. Who is the best player of all time in each NFL franchise? Who is their GOAT? I've been going in alphabetical order. I've done Arizona, Atlanta, Baltimore, and Buffalo. So the fifth team I am doing is the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers' inaugural season was in 1996, and I've remained with that name since then. So, two off seasons ago, I did my NFL Mount Rushmore by team, where I named the four best players in my eyes in each team's history. Then I did last off season Mount Rushmore's by position, the best players at each position, the four best. So for each of these teams, I'm going to take a look at who I included in their Mount Rushmore and if I would change anything before I name the best player in franchise history, again, in my eyes. So, when I did my Mount Rushmore, I included Luke Kuechly, former Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, Cam Newton, former NFL MVP, one of the most exciting quarterbacks in his day, Julius Peppers, first ballot Hall of Famer in 2024, 97 sacks with the Panthers, and Steve Smith, who had a season where he led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving tight ends. When I did this, some honorable mentions I had included were Sam Mills, Jake Delhomme, Mushin Muhammad, Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Gross, Charles Johnson, Ryan Khalil, D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, and DJ Moore. But I would not change anything with this Mount Rushmore. I still think these are the clear four best players in franchise history. A guy like Sam Mills just didn't play long enough. I will say, though, out of the five teams I've done, this was by far the hardest for me to decide on who the best player in franchise history was. All four of these guys have a strong case, and I really debated on three of them. In the end, I decided that I believe the best player in Carolina Panthers franchise history is Luke Kuechly, the linebacker. What a career he had, although it was relatively short as he played just 8 seasons. Retired at the age of 28, had three known concussions, but in that somewhat brief amount of time, all with the Carolina Panthers, he just did so much. He was the ninth overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft out of Boston College, and again, first started off with a bang, Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2012. His second season was Defensive Player of the Year. Also finished third in Defensive Player of the Year in 2015. He was a five-time first-team All-Pro, named to the Pro Bowl each of his last 7 seasons. Just awesome numbers. Look at his tackle numbers, over 100 every season. His rookie and third season, he led the NFL in total tackles, 12 and a half sacks for his career. Guy who had at least one interception every season of his career, 18 total, blocked 66 passes, forced 7 fumbles, recovered 9, just played all over the field and just was a menace on each and every play. Not only that, a member of the 2015 Panthers team that reached the Super Bowl. And in the two games, the NFC divisional round and NFC championship game, in both of those games, he had an interception that he returned for a touchdown. Incredible. 61 total tackles in 7 postseason games. So again, just not a lengthy career at all, but so productive in that brief amount of time. Look at approximate value, a measure that Pro Football Reference uses to show how good a player was for that season. I mean, if you get double digits, that's excellent. His last 7 seasons, he was able to do so. So in the end, I gave the slight nod to Luke Kuechly. It was really, I mean, it was hard for me to put Cam Newton fourth, but in the end, I was really debating between Kuechly, Peppers, and Smith. Now, before I did any of these teams, what I did is I wrote all 32 teams down and wrote who I thought was the best player in franchise history without really doing any research. I actually put Julius Peppers. Now, Peppers was awesome, 10 seasons, 97 sacks. I think part of the reason I went Kuechly over him was because a part of Peppers' prime was not with the team. A lot of his prime was with the Bears, and um, postseason wise, Kuechly was just the more impactful player. In 9 career postseason games with the Panthers, Peppers had just 2 sacks. Steve Smith, definitely I considered widely as well. I just think that for a long while, Luke Kuechly was the standard at the middle linebacker position. And Steve Smith, excellent wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. Just 1 time first team All Pro. Yes, he's a 2 time first team All Pro, but his rookie season he was as a return man. But I definitely would understand if you thought if Smith or Peppers is the best player in franchise history. I really debated this all day. It's Sunday. I'm off. So it was so tough for me to do. I went Kuechly. With all these teams, I say if I think any active players have a chance of overtaking the GOAT or at least getting on the Mount Rushmore. We know the Panthers had the worst record in the NFL this past season. I mean, Brian Burns is a great pass rusher, has a long while to go, though, before he's able to catch any of these 4 guys. And Bryce Young is the first overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. Disappointing rookie season. Long way to go before we could conclude how his career is going to go, but not off to a good start. But let me know again in the comments who you believe is the best Carolina Panther of all time. Tomorrow is another difficult team because they have some really historic players. That is the Chicago Bears. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.